Welcome old family and new family to Cipher Scholars, formerly known as Boom Bat. This is your co-host with the most, Brandon White, aka Bushido Garvey, as I'm known in many MC circles.
It's your boy Rob Blow on the boards, behind the boards.
Yes. Welcome to the show. Cipher Scholars are our Facebook Live family. Thank you for watching and listening. Cipher Scholars, where it's all education, all hip-hop, all culture. Excuse me, I'm messing up my own catchphrase. Part education, part hip-hop, all culture. Right?
Yes,
so let's go ahead and hop right into today's syllabus because we got 30 minutes to get through this.
So what's on the syllabus today, man? What we rocking with right now?
So text one or subject one, we got the Jay-Z, Beyonce, the Beyonce Veganism.
Oh, God.
That's been popping in the news lately.
Oh, God.
We got the RCSD, the Rochester City School District Graduation Rate numbers that came in.
Okay.
We'll chop it up about that. And last on the syllabus, if we're talking about Jay, it's only natural to talk about Nas and his business enterprises.
Okay.
Right? So that'll be a little interesting.
Very much so.
What's going on, Tondo? Appreciate you listening. So yeah, let's start off with the Beyonce Veganism. So
Beyonce, all right.
So recently,
Yes.
they made a call to action for their fans, right?
Yes.
Saying that, hey, if you want free tickets to our shows, commit to veganism for an extended period of time, or with a plan.
Yes.
Whether it's Meatless Mondays, or vegan breakfasts, you don't have to go the whole gauntlet. But you do that, then you enter yourself into the runnings of getting some free
tickets,
on the run tickets, maybe for 2019 or something. I'm not sure.
Yep. So this vegan challenge that they had call to action for. It's supposed to last around 22 days,
22
right?
days.
22 days. Now, the reason why I think they did the 22-day challenge was because it's steeped in psychology. They said to make a habit, it takes how many days?
21.
21 days. 21. All right, so it takes 21 days to make a habit.
Too and ice.
I know.
Yeah.
We could talk about that later. But that would be interesting. But yeah, it's a 21-day thing that creates a habit in the concept of psychology. That's why they called it the 22-day challenge, right? And also the trainer Marco Burgess, right?
Burgess, something like that.
Is working with them to help push this challenge. They have a website called Green Print, right?
And they have a book called The Green Print as well.
Yes, and the author of that is Marcos Burgess, the trainer of Beyonce and maybe Jay-Z. You know what I mean? I think he's trainers to both of them. And also if you get the book, I'm not sure if it's even out yet.
It's out.
It's out right now?
Yep.
All right, so if you get the book, you'll see an introduction from Jay-Z and Beyonce themselves.
Yeah.
It's really crazy.
I respect the capitalism and the entrepreneurship that they're doing. That's also like a positive spin on it, right?
Yep.
Now, as somebody who's been exercising their plant-based diet while you disagree, you know what I'm saying? You ain't vegan. Like, on the scale, if I count anybody being vegan, that if you don't eat meat and if you don't consume dairy, I know there's 50 shades of veganism, but as a person who actually makes sure is that I'm meat-free or dairy-free on the most obvious levels, and I've been doing it for a year. Do you see that the 21, even though it's based in psychology, do you see it as like a trendy thing, or are they authentically trying to get people to really think about their choices?
I think they're using the trend to help get everyone to be more authentic with their choices. So, you know what I mean, doing it for a short period of time instead of doing it for a long period of time might make it more feasible to do so. You feel me? So
that's a fact.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Actually,
especially in this culture.
And I actually did some research on, I always say like vegetarians don't eat dairy and all this other stuff. I actually did some research and I stand corrected. I actually did some real research and stuff like that. Crazy. There's something called the Vegetarian Society that was popping off back in the early 1900s, I believe.
Okay.
Kind of like I don't know if it's 1944, I'm not even sure, something like that, but it's very early in the 1900s or mid 1900s or something like that, where they actually defined what a vegetarian is, and it actually included dairy.
Dairy, right? Yeah, because
some animal products like dairy.
Right. No, that makes sense. For anybody who, you know what? One thing to your point, hopping on the trend to hopefully encourage permanent lifestyle choices, vegan or otherwise. I do believe you can live a healthy lifestyle without necessarily adopting a vegan diet.
Yes, that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Very true.
So if this is your starting point,
very true.
I hope it's a springboard into other texts and information about healthy living. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so let's make that clear. So you said that you don't have to be healthy. You don't have to live a vegan diet. You don't have to be a vegan to live a healthy life.
That's what I personally believe based off of my understanding.
No, yes. I believe that too. I've seen that in my grandmother. That she passed away, but you know what I mean. I've seen that in my grandmother. She no, school. But basically, I've seen that in my grandmother. She still ate meat. She lived to be 80 something years old, and she was still walking, no problems. You know what I mean? So. You know what I mean? I definitely see evidence in that, and she still ate meat and all that. But I contributed to her living that well and that long to her earlier lifestyle. You know what I mean? Because she was basically eating very healthy without even trying. You know what I mean? Based on where she was at, she lived on an island. You know what I mean? I don't want to get too much into it, but she lived on an island. You know what I mean? It had a lot of fruits and vegetables and all that good stuff. You know what I mean? It was like some extra meat on deck too. So let's make clear. I wanted to make clear. I wanted to get back on. You said that vegans, you don't have to be healthy to live a vegan lifestyle. Right? Now Beyonce, she's not a full vegan.
No, she's not. She made that very clear.
All right, so that's why exactly I brought that up. I believe she had a quote where it was in an article, or maybe I'm not sure if she posted on Instagram or something like that, but definitely you can find it in an article that we have where she said that she's not a vegan.
No, she's not.
Point blank period.
She has testified about the benefits. She said her skin is clear.
Yep.
Said that she has more energy, etc., etc. Now, part of me, I guess I can come up with my own reasons about why people would choose to have a different diet, even if those are benefits that they get with that diet. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel better, but I'm not this all the way. You feel me? Like, but maybe she's found other ways. To that point I was making, that you don't need veganism to have more energy, have more health. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So,
and I think they just took an extra step to with this vegan approach. You know what I mean? Like, because they periodically practice veganism,
right?
Every so often. I'm not even sure how often.
Yeah, because there's like a gap too. There's like a gap between these pushes for and these what's called
these
PR, challenges, these PR moves.
Okay.
With veganism, because it was back in 2014, right, where it initially happened with the
22-day vegan challenge.
Yep, exactly.
Jay-Z turned 44 years old.
Right.
He I believe he talked to his trainer Marco Burgess, and Burgess actually challenged Jay-Z to eat a vegan breakfast every day for 21 days or 22 days, I believe. And when he did that, I guess he felt some type of benefit from that. And
that's the easiest for anybody.
That on his website, on Life and Times website.
Right. Yep. Which I got to check out. Jay-Z always has real deep insights when he's just speaking or writing. You know what I'm saying? So, but I would recommend anybody who's I can never do veganism, as a whole, I recommend having a vegan breakfast, which is nothing you know what I'm saying? That's where you actually get true energy. You know what I'm saying? It's not meats, especially breakfast meats like bacon, sausage. These are not energy-inducing foods. You know what I'm saying?
You need foods that actually not monitor, but control your sugar levels throughout the day, like apples. You know what I mean?
Right.
Even though it doesn't give you that rush or anything like that, it's more of a steady pace.
It's energy
and controlling your sugar levels. Yeah,
indeed.
You know what I mean?
Let's switch gears real quick.
All right, cool.
And hop to the second part of the syllabus.
I don't know if you getting at cats right now. I don't know if you getting at these people, man.
Snap! My former principal at Wilson is watching. Peace to Marilyn Patterson Grant, Miss Grant, the OG legend.
I don't know if she know about this vegan life out here that we talking about. about.
But you know what? She knew about running that school. Like, I ran into her one time. I'm gonna tell this on air real quick. I ran into her one time because she was one of those principals that, she was like that classic, black mother maternal principal, where she was strict and consistent, but still had a heart for flexibility and circumstances for the kid, at least from what I saw. Okay. So back in high school, I was like, man, she get on my nerves, you know. But I knew that whatever she was doing was necessary in the back of my mind. Okay. But then when I kind of came of age as a teacher, I was like, oh, I definitely see what she was doing. Okay, you know what I'm saying? And I ran into her. Those same methods, right? Exactly. Yep. And I ran into her one day, and I told her that, and she was like, "Brandon, you have no idea how many times students have told me that exact same thing." Wow. So peace to Doc, Mayor Sebastian Grant. And what up, Monster?
Yeah, back at it, Monster.
What up, Macho?
Oh, Monster.
Happy belated.
My boy.
You know what I'm saying? Yes. Indeed. Shout outs to Miss Grant. Indeed. All right, so let's actually back up on the district, you know, because she's a product of the district, and she ran Wilson when Wilson was one of the best public high schools in the country, right?
I did not know.
Yep. Mm-hmm. It was ranked in the I believe a couple years in a row in the top 40.
In the country. In
the country, public schools. Yep, absolutely. At that time. Fast forward to now. And after that era, you know, the RCSD, even then, the RCSD has had hard times. The Rochester City School District, for those who are not local, the Rochester City School District is the third biggest the school district in the country, and not in the country, pardon me. In New York State.
Out of the
big five
city school districts that we have here.
Yes, in the state. So it's definitely a bigger one, and it's been one that's been plagued with challenges for a myriad of reasons, right? But the most recent news was the graduation rate for 2017 was 51.9%, right? Which is a 4.2 percentage jump from the previous year, and like a 10-point jump, almost 10-point jump over the past decade.
Yeah, right? I believe, yep.
So there's been a lot of mixed feelings about these numbers, right? The upside has been like, you know what? It takes a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to change anything as systemically backwards, systemically racist, systemically just bizarro world. Like, what do they call it in what's that show called? The one on Netflix with Stranger Things. The Upside Down. It's like everything is like reversed and backwards. Like
inverted.
Exactly. Like as inverted as this system is. A 10-point jump in 10 years, you can argue is like heavy lifting, right?
Very much so.
But at the same time, what else is true? It's still only half of our kids graduating compared to some other districts that are in our surrounding areas. You know?
Yeah. So let's break down the big 5 city school districts graduation rate that we saw so far. And we're gonna start with Rochester, which is would you say 53.5%, right? Yeah. New York City's graduation rate is which is the largest.
Well, the report I got, it said 51.9. Well, go ahead though.
Oh,
okay. Still, but still, yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, give or take.
Right. Give or take.
You know, it's a little margin of error in there, but New York City's graduation rate was around 72%, which is crazy. And that's the first largest district. That's the largest district in New York State. Buffalo's graduation rate was 62%, around 62%. Syracuse was around 58%, and Yonkers was around 80%. Which is in New York City, right?
Yep, it's right above the borough. Yep.
Oh wow, okay, yep. Yeah.
So, and peace again to Monster. Monster cited that in 2004 we were number 10. Wilson was number 10 in the country.
Woo!
So Monster with the facts. Monster always with the facts. You know what I'm saying? But so when you're looking at those big 5, and any big district has its challenges. However, we're repeatedly at the bottom of the big 5, and according to some metrics, even nationwide, we're at the very bottom of the barrel in terms of growth and gains in some ways. The way that some people measure the metrics. I think there was something almost 2 years ago that showed Rochester it was like a new way of measuring growth.
Yep.
Right.
Okay.
Rochester was at the very bottom in the country. You know what I'm saying? But again, we have these numbers that show growth. Where do you think the line is between appreciating growth, even if it's not like, a great number, and and still seeing it as something that's really low? You know what I'm saying? Like, because some people are like, yeah, that's work, that's great work, that's progress, and some people are like, yo, it's only half of our kids is making it to the finish line on time.
I mean, listen, that small percentage of growth is basically a steady movement towards a better district. You know what I mean? Whether how small it is, I don't care if it's 1%. You know what I mean? Like, we're going up, we're not going down right now. So, and we've seen that in one school in particular, Douglas High School. Yeah. You know what I mean? Where there's one particular principal. I don't want to probably put her name out like that, but this is one particular principal that headed the restorative program there. Yep. And she was able to increase the percentage within a year?
Year or two. Yeah.
A year or two, you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? Like, and that's just one example out of one school out of the entire district of Rochester that showed some type of growth, you know what I mean? Now, it was tough seeing that growth. I mean, it was tough I believe it was tough to
kind of swallow like the numbers for what they were, compared to like
their experience within that environment.
Right, indeed.
I guess that's what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? Which is very rough to like be in. You know what I mean? You gotta have thick skin. You gotta have patience. You do have to be firm. Yep. You gotta be all those things. And
you gotta be really wise and strategic. And it doesn't matter what your job is. Like, you gotta be all of that.
So for people that's actually in there doing the work, they probably maybe feel like, this is not enough right here. It's not enough in the percentage of growth or whatever. So, and the people that's on the outside is maybe saying like, this might be a good look for the district. You know
I almost feel like it's the reverse.
You think so?
I feel like the people inside are because they've seen the blood, sweat, and tears. They know the blood, sweat, and tears they put in every day, whether they're teaching chemistry, or they're a SPED teacher for an inclusion middle school English course, or if they're a Spanish teacher in 8th grade, whatever have you. Okay. Like, they see the work they have to put in, and they see some of their leaders or fellow teachers or themselves trying to innovate in really complex situations. Okay. And so when they see, like, you know what, like, maybe this isn't all for naught. You know what I'm saying? Because things are moving slowly but surely in a really messy district. You know what I'm saying? So, and then people on the outside, it's easier for them to criticize, right? Where it's just like, what? That's not. Look at all these other.
I mean, that's why I kind of say that, because those that's actually doing the work, they're more stressed. Right. They're feeling the effects. They're feeling the effects of dealing with those
all
students.
this work I'm putting in. Okay.
You know what I mean? And the parents that's outside of the district, or everyone else that's outside of the district looking in, they don't feel that experience. You know, they're not there every day dealing with some students or anything like that. Mm-hmm. So they're probably looking like, they see a percentage increase. They might feel more inclined to say, this is a great look for the district. We're moving in the right direction. You know what I mean? Now, yes, it's a very small percentage, you know what I mean? And yes, it's around 50%. You know what I mean? Only half the kids is graduating, but I mean, it's better than a decrease in percentage.
Yeah, no, for sure. And to that point too, you know, these numbers, whenever they come out, there's always a major discrepancy between two things. One, within the graduation of the district, there's a 20-point gap in this year between black and brown kids and the white kids within the district.
Did that decrease?
The percentage of students graduating on time for black and Latino kids is 20 points below the white kids graduating from the district. Okay. And again, back to our conversation before about disproportionate suspensions, right? Not always understanding who you're teaching, right? Both on the part of white teachers that have implicit bias, and on the part of black and brown teachers with internalized racism, potentially, right? Or just trying to figure out how to navigate this crazy system, you know, because you and I both know how hard it is to try to teach with some of these realities, even with a good heart and a good mind. You know, and with the poverty that so many of our black and brown kids face, and the trauma that some of them face. I don't want to tell that story for all kids, because it's definitely not all kids that have that experience in our district, but enough to make an impact on how the classroom can operate.
Yes.
Like when you have to deal with all that, the 20-point gap is there, and the bureaucracy of the district too.
Okay.
We can't pretend like that doesn't affect this gap. But then there's also the piece where in Fairport, Penfield, I forget the other one, Brighton, where what was their grad with 90%?
Yeah.
Something crazily like successful and awesome for them. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's all in.
you know, so like you can't. It just makes you really think about the role community and affluence and just, I guess, like just opportunity just have on
our students.
That's a 40% gap of graduation, son.
Yeah,
that's wild.
You know what I mean? And those are, you're right, man. Like, it's a lot tougher for the students to navigate within the district because of that. You know what I mean? And, you know what I mean? Given their circumstances, whether it's good or bad, you know what I mean? The students are going to have to deal with that situation because this is the time we're in right now. But it is getting somewhat better, though.
Yeah, no, exactly. And that's the thing I learned about being a teacher too, where it's just like, at the end of the day, even if things are abysmal, like progress over everything.
Yes.
Like, no matter what the context is, no matter how you can look at the numbers or look at the situation overall, if it's like dire or bad, you don't lose sight of it. The progress is what you value, because the progress is what you hold on to continue to build more progress.
See?
You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what education taught me, especially in the district. You know what I'm saying? Like, baby steps with every kid. We talked about kids like that too, where
actually, the superintendent, Barbara Dean Williams, seconds that statement, I believe.
Word.
You know what I mean, she actually made she made a statement under the Rochester City School District, saying that like these trends that we're seeing, the increase in the percentage that we saw this year, it disrupts the patterns of our failure to know the kids' name by face. You know what I mean? Know their stories. Like, you know, it's disrupting all those things that could have been a problem that maybe helped you to connect with the kids. You know what I mean?
Facts. Facts. Indeed.
Yeah, that's about it for that, man.
Sure, man. Well, you know what? Like, I'm hoping and praying that progress continues, the hard work continues, being aware that 51% isn't enough, but also not using that to, you know, not engaging in the critics that don't even do the work, aren't a part of the work, that ain't been putting in the same work as everybody else in the district, that are earnestly trying to make a difference. Yeah. Just keeping your nose to the grindstone and keep on climbing in that regard.
Yeah, to all those teachers, the principals and administrations out there.
Yes.
The paras, the TAs, SSOs, counselors.
Yes.
All you guys.
Everybody.
You guys are doing something good right now. So
yes, you too, Ms. Garlock.
Yes, Ms. Garlock, you made this guy a monster.
Progress over everything. Yes. Another one. Another admin from Wilson during that time period.
Yes. Right, so she does.
And thank you, Miss Crystal Clark, for the amazing work that you do.
Clark, I still got you. Don't worry. I got you. Don't worry. I got you.
Indeed.
I ain't forget about you. We got you. Don't worry.
So we got 5 minutes left to talk about your boy Nas.
Let's go.
Yep.
Let's go.
Smarten up, Nas.
Smarten up.
Nas smartened up.
Yes.
Or it was always, he could divide. He could divide. Indeed. You know what I'm saying? For those who don't know, that was a reference to Takeover, you know, where Jay-Z had dissed Nas about his, you know, his business and his, like, artistic acting, right? But, you know, if you're paying attention to the news, Nas has been stacking up. You know what I'm saying?
He's been making a lot of investments with his company. What's the name of his company?
Queensbridge Venture Partners.
Now, I actually had a question about that. Is Venture Partners like a thing for many other companies as well?
I think that using those two, like that term, that phrase, is a common thing. Yeah. And that's me having to step up my acumen, but I do believe that is common to call your company, if it's like a venture company, like Venture Partners. I do believe it's a common thing.
Well, let's put that.
It's not common to name it after the world's largest and notorious projects. That's not common. That's not. You know what I'm saying? But like venture partners is though.
So let me put that question to the side. We'll do some more research on that. We'll come back to that right
Indeed.
there. But yes, his company is called Queensbridge Venture Partners.
Yep.
Right, and he used this company to actually help make all of these investments that we're gonna jump into right now.
Yeah.
Let's just do a little. I just want to say that we actually talked about this before, like
right
with the battle between Jay-Z and Nas,
yeah.
which was a famous battle within hip hop.
Epic.
Very epic. You know, you had the takeover, and after that, you had in response to the Ether. Like, you know, you see that Nas actually won the battle. I mean, for consensus says that Nas won the battle. Let me say that consensus says that Nas won the battle.
Man. I'm an Etherhead, but like everybody, there's a lot of people that think Takeover still. Like,
yeah.
That could easily start another 3-hour argument amongst hip hop heads. But anyway, go ahead.
So consensus says that that Nas won the battle, but overall, Jay-Z's career, his business practices, expanded over time.
True.
You know what I mean?
True.
And it seemed like Nas. It seemed like Nas from a far view was slowing down with his business.
Right.
But he was actually really working on the low.
Real.
You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying? Like he got really into all the millennial based tech that we interact with on a regular basis. Like he was on investing in that stuff early.
Yes.
Like really early in terms of like Web 2.0, Web 3.0 app stuff that like kind of just merges services. What is the gig economy kind of stuff? Like he got on that really early, right? And so a couple of them are like Genius, which is like the world's most famous like wiki page for artist lyrics.
Yep.
Lyft, he invested in Lyft early.
Yep.
He invested in Robinhood, which is like what's it called? Like a charge-free way of exchanging stocks.
Yep.
Dropbox, if you work a job like that involves like, you know, inner office politics, you got a Dropbox. You know what I'm saying? Like, he invested in a lot of different things. Early.
Yeah,
and like Tilt,
General Assembly.
Yep. And that's education stuff in terms of like educating. He funded a scholarship fund for General Assembly for Black, Latino women and veterans to get access to tech education. That's what General Assembly is about. That's his involvement in general education.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
General Assembly, pardon. My bad.
We had to
look into that
a little bit more. Like his firm or his business, his Queensbridge venture partners usually invest in between $100,000 to $500,000 into all these companies, and they do get offers to make investments, right? They get hundreds of offers every month, right? But they only invest into how many companies? Around 3 companies, 2 companies a month or whatever. I mean, I'm not even sure if they do this every month.
Right. And to that point, one of the ones that that got the investment was Pluto. That's the most recent one. Pluto is a streaming service.
TV, right?
Yep. And I believe that Viacom bought Pluto for about like $280 million.
Yes, and
you know,
and that Viacom, yeah.
And then the other one that happened in 2018 was a Ring, which is like a security.
Yep. Doorbell
tech
company.
Yeah, like a
smart door. It's a smart doorbell company.
Yep.
Ring, and I think Amazon bought Ring for $1 billion. $1 billion. And Nas got a cut of $40 million out of the deal.
And that's only one of his investments. So, you know, like he's proof to me.
Real quick, he invested over 40 companies, man.
And we've only talked about 8. You know what I'm saying?
And he doesn't only stop. He's not. Man, this is crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Like, it's only now that we're hearing about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like while I respect Jay-Z is like just one of the best business entrepreneurs in hip hop of all time, regardless of this Nas thing. But one thing that Nas, I feel like, kind of exercises is the quiet financer, the quiet entrepreneur. Because like these dudes, I feel like are the most long-term successful. You know what I'm saying? Because the attention isn't on them. No controversies swing their way. Now, you know, the Khalees drama popped up as a result of some of this new news popping up. But that's not something he was looking for. He's been trying to be low. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But
and I just want to say one thing that with these investments, like you have to smarten up.
Yeah.
Like Nas. You gotta smarten up like Nas yourself.
Indeed.
You gotta exhibit these things yourself. You gotta start doing the research. You gotta start placing your money in these things.
This definitely put a battery in my back.
Right? Because okay, me and you talked about investments years ago, right? Mm-hmm. One in particular, I talked about Acorn. I found out about Acorn. About this woman actually pushed it on this radio show called The Breakfast Club.
Yep.
I forgot her name. I wish I forgot her name, but
it's all good. You got
basically, I did some research on that. I found out there was other apps or program or companies that were very similar to that.
Word.
You had
Robinhood.
You had Acorn. You had
Stash.
Yep. Those are the few of them that are in the same category, where it allows you to play with the stock market, invest into the stock market without any charges, right? For a very small, at a very low rate.
Very low rate.
You know what I mean?
Yo.
So.
My fault.
We had
31.
So I just want to say, like, yo, you guys got to do this yourselves, man. You guys got to do the research. You guys got to figure out who's doing all of that. So go ahead.
For sure. No, it's good because that's a good note to end on. Yo, y'all been listening to Cipher Scholars. Thank you for my Facebook Live listeners. Is that there's a banner blocking, so I can't tell who that is, but it's Carrie. Peace to Carrie, right? We're on every Tuesday from 1:30 to 2. This is pre-recorded right now, but it's 1:30 to 2 every Tuesday. It's up on Mixcloud as well. Check us out on Facebook. Peace and progress. 104.3 Wayo FM.